What was that?
Careful.
What do you think you're doing? All right, scram.
Watch out, Captain.
Bless my heart. A stranger come knocking on a poor old woman's door. You here for a particular reason? Or did the neighbors tell you how good my sugar cookies are? Made without a single natural ingredient, or an oven. Just like store-bought. Won a charming copper kettle off that girl who runs the pub. She's a fierce arm wrestler. But if you're here for this week's magazine club, those have been the height of illegality since Stellar Bay turned their noses up at the board. You and I could be thrown to the void just for discussing such a transaction. Lucky for us, Groundbreaker's a free port. We're outside of the board. Now, I only have the one nav key, and they're hard to come by these days. It won't be cheap. If you... Phineas, that old kook. He was quite the dancer back in his real light in the wallet, too. He still owes me a small fortune. Well, I find I'm in need of a ship captain with a little moral flexibility. Might be this could help out the Groundbreaker, as well as earn some bits. Might want to acquaint yourself with Junlei Tennyson, Groundbreaker's chief. You'll find her fretting in engineering. I'd say she's a... Yes. Ain't that just a treat? So, you know Edna, over in engineering? On occasion, she'll pass along... She sent me a recording of a distress signal she'd scraped from the Groundbreaker. Curious thing is, it came from an outpost called Roseway. And Auntie Cleo abandoned that place years... Can't say I know for sure.
Sounds like someone poking into somewhere they shouldn't be got into a spot of trouble.
Comm centers don't operate themselves, Captain. Someone had to have sent that distress.
Those corps are cleverer than all get out. Might have been a ruse to keep the rest of the... Edna didn't seem to think so. And if someone set up... Maybe whatever they're hiding went to heck, and now they need a fuse. If you should find a secret worth selling, might be I could find a buy. The more we... My goodness, aren't you? Should you find your... Then we ought to... Law bless your atoms. Here's a copy of the SOS recording, complete with the coordinates. Don't forget to come find old Gladys. Anytime.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. And now, a special word from Captain Rockwell.
We need only look to one another to find examples of honest labor and earnest work ethic. But there are it breaks my heart to see the fruits of your labor.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following... For the scandal has rocked the league and thrown this pivotal game into...
Sorry about the heat. Chief Tennyson will get the radiators fixed soon. Of course, this heat sure makes a zero-G brew extra refreshing. Oh, and it's not the best choice. It's a lot of slogans to keep track of. Heard of it? My orientation aetherwave showed that famous Saltuna cannery, which I...
That's true.
Yeah. I hope they're gonna be...
That's a spacer's choice beer. Take what you have, polish it up. So, what can I get you? I'm bound to satisfy headgear-related inquiries. Please send any complaints to our consumer care headwear. Oh, I'm having a stellar day. Not just because I'm legally obligated. I can see all of the top-quality merchandise in the Spacer's Choice catalog. Spacer's Choice regrets that we don't sell toothpaste at this time, but we're always working. Sprat Wash, Mouthwash, and Mantafloss are among the exciting line of dental. Don't miss out on these deals. You'll find none. Trouble sleeping? Try our Lunar Eclipse Mix. The blast will send you... Add an additional 10% to your purchase today, and the proceeds will be donated to Spacer Cares. At Spacer's Choice, we care about your health and emotional well-being. That's why we put Martin... Even if my contract didn't forbid it, I think... Now, are you ready? You would never ask if you knew what it's like. I mean, why, anyone can be a Spacer's Choice consumer relation. Damn it. Slogan for that one. Look, if there are self-made purgatories, then we all have to live in them. Mine. Now, if we're done with the chit-chat, it's fine. Speaking of interest, can I interest... Anything in it. Just the opposite. Spacer's Choice items are always new. Oh, sorry. It's a script. If I don't follow it to a T, Spacer's Choice items are... You could go broke by... That's why you should get a backup or 3. Become a frequent buyer. Program... Have a look.
I know she's in there, Mfuru. Out of there?
Please don't make a scene, Dr. Fenhill.
I am not making a scene. I'm sorry. See, Mfuru? We could have avoided all this let me get one thing straight. Jesse and I are not As for the rest, I'm trying to figure that out. All I know is that she's been here. You say that like it's weird. Like I said, Jesse did me a favor, and now I just don't like to leave a... Yeah. Because I'm a doctor. I know what illness looks like. And Jesse was looking as sleek as... And anyway... Be my guest. If you know something I don't about dealing with hospital bureaucracy...
Something I can help you. Not without dispensation from Chief Junlei, I fear. We don't have the ability to manufacture our own medical supplies here on Groundbreaker. Regrettably, we are dependent on the board for such mundane items as bandages and antibiotics. We'd nearly signed a supply agreement with Anti-Cleos, but they demanded we only use their branded drugs, and that's simply not tenable. If only my other patients had so many inquiring after them. I'll tell. The records say Miss Doyle checked herself in and requested I admit no... She's not my patient. I'm certain no one on my staff would falsify patient. Take care.
Can't say I've seen you before. If you're here to better yourself, you'll have to wait. Did he now? The mouth on that man. He must be referring to Irion. I'm sure the fool's gotten himself... I'm beginning to wonder if I'm ever gonna get my service mechanicals at... Our delivery man. A brave idiot with a penchant for getting himself delayed. Sometimes by dates, usually by bandit. Surgery mostly. Medical personnel are... The board won't let their doctors and nurses station here, and they own all the medical schools. If we can't hire their people, we can't hire anyone. Everyone on staff here on Groundbreaker was trained by me or Idris. We're good, don't get me wrong. But we've only 2 heads between us, and we don't know everything. I'd be grateful if you'd spare the time. We need his delivery soon as yesterday. Last he told me, he was taking a shortcut by Scylla, an asteroid in the Charybdis cluster. You look out, though. A place is...
You ever wonder if maybe folks keep doors closed for a reason?
To the last ratted on rotten time. You hull-headed quacks do know that restful recuperation requires not being What? Why? Everything's fine. We're all fine here. No, I'm just terrible, dreadful sick is all. Got a cough that won't quit and sores all over my body. Criminy. She really ain't gonna drop this, is she? Alright, okay. We can discuss this like the... Seems I've got to do something before Ellie goes jabbering my business to anyone with one ear and an intent to listen.
The truth is, I'm not sick. But if you repeat what I'm about to tell you to anyone, I will deny it with my dying breath. You, ain't with the board. See, I owe them a lot. I might have missed a payment or two, and the other night I swear someone was following me back to my room. So I hold up here to lay low. What? No, I didn't do anything. I'm a law-abiding denizen of this ship, I swear. Think? No. I recognize a contracted killer when I see one, thank you. In my line of work, that's a skill you develop during week 1, assuming you want to keep breathing. All right, I'll fess this part up too, if it means you'll help me. I'm a thief. I specialize in particularly high-end and historically valuable items. 3 weeks back, I caught rumor that the blood-tier diamond, last worn by an heiress on the Lost Hope, had surfaced for the first time in 70 years. Udam was my buyer for when I'd acquired the diamond. He paid half up front to finance the operation. Let's just say things went sideways about the time I got my hands on the diamond, and it crumbled to stardust in my palm. Anywho, I barely made it out with my life, and nary a plan to make back Udam's deposit I'd spent. Udam Bedford's the board guy on the station. He'd know how I stand with them. If you can square things for me, I'd owe you one even bigger than Ellie owes me. Thanks for helping me with the board. You're a real pal. Or I guess I should say, Ellie is one, huh?
Any word on Good luck. The board's got an office on the promenade just before.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the fall.
What do you think? Oh, just be careful next time. Going back to the old cubicle to watch the leader.
Seeking relief from the heat? Till June Lay gets those I hear tell some folk down in the townships are getting offered early retirement.
Who'd think of...
The radiators, they're and we're all sweating Couldn't say, and I wouldn't be pouring drinks professionally if I could. All I know is they're supposed to gather up all the heat the systems generate and vent it into space. Instead of the heat going where it ought, though, it seems to be blowing straight down the promenade. Weeks? I've lost track. Engineering. Chief Junlei Tennyson to be... Don't know what's got her... That's not for me to... There's nobody who knows more about... She doesn't come around here. What ain't... And in fact,
Only...
Need directions? Try an engineer. Ground check. Bit of a maze.
I'll be just a moment.
That's more or less what it is. Yeah. I'll give you another minute to think about it. You're spending large tonight, man. There's your drink, man. If you want anything else, just flag me down. Rising crime rates, man.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the...
Easy does it.
Got that? Where's it all go?
Hello? Someone there? Help! I'm locked in here! Can you get me out? Thank you, stranger. Shit, ain't that a relief? You have no idea how good the air on Groundbreaker smells until you've been trapped in a tiny bathroom with an overflowing toilet. Thanks again, friend. What usually happens on this partially pressurized rust bucket? Something broke. Well, actually two things broke. First, the damn toilet overflowed. When I came to clean that up, time stood still. I was aware... Ah, shit. That means I haven't clocked out in days. Song is gonna have my ass for wage... You're gonna shake me down after I was trapped in a shit-covered bath... That all? Of course. Everyone on the ship's gonna hear about this.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. Remember Auntie Cleo?
Miscreant!
Because she
I
remembers
saw that!
you.
What do you think you're doing?
Incoming!
Got it? Inside voices.
What do you think you're doing? Oh, I guess,
Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. Tossball finals are scheduled to air soon, but a scandal has rocked the league and thrown this pivotal game into question. Both teams have tested negative for performance-enhancing stims. A tossball first. Coaches and referees are debating how and if this behavior could lead to an unfair advantage. This has been Halcyon News, your only source for news in the Halcyon colony.
You know that sound when you've snapped on an injector clip? I got a full line of weapon modification. Why, it gets you the weapon best suited for your...
All the better for performing a little percussive maintenance.
Self-improvement, including one's weapons, is always a worthy endeavor.
Take your basic Deadeye assault rifle. Perfectly serviceable. But what if you like finesse? Slap a scope and silencer on that bad boy. Bunker down in a bush someplace and pop off heads. What if you like getting in close and making a lot of noise? Extended ammo magazine and a barrel... Only takes a bit of motion. No and yes. When you install... Right here for a start. A what? Sorry, hon. Here at Bell's Shells, we just don't discuss impolite topics, and WARRA and TIES tops the list. So...
How about I, keep watch, okay? I had a question about your plan, Mr. Vicker.
Directed by the universal equation, also known as the Grand Plan. By contemplating the teleological order of things, one can achieve verity. Oh, right. You had a question?
Never mind. That about answers it.
C&P chicken and potatoes at 6 C&P Borston baked beans. When you need to eat one, Borston baked beans is the only one.
Go back to Byzantium, you gold-plated bastards.
Yeah, no one wants you on Groundbreaker.
Offered for information leading to the capture of noted terrorist Phineas Wells. Report any sightings to your local board embassy. RT greeting, potential customer. Welcome to Anti-This Unit Dispense Protein. This unit is programmed to simulate shock simulation non-functional. Hey, trouble? Shock simulation restored. Initiating shock. How? There. Shock subroutine complete. Estimated guilt level of customer increase. This unit dispense. Beginning dispense. Have you seen this man? Reward offered for information leading to the capture of noted terrorist Phineas Wells. Have you seen this man? Have you seen this man? Reward offered for information leading to the capture of noted terrorist Phineas Wells. Report any sightings to your local board embassy.
Hi.
What do you think you're doing? Just be careful next time.
Not a peep from me.
You look like someone who's taken their share of cuts and bruises. Need some armor? Maybe it's a bit secondhand, but that's only a testament to its durability. We also have a line of specialized melee weapons. Everything I sell is fresh from the forge. Technically, the metal formed billions of years ago, but it's freshly... Not me, but it's in my blood. After the crossing, my family worked Eridanos, indentured to the corporation. I was born into corporate labor, but I'm the first one of my family to buy my way out. That's why I settled on...
If you're hungry, you've come to the right place. They're terrified to lock in the juices. How about a grinder? You know what sprats are? Space rats. The laboratories of Spacer's Choice found a use for this limitless frontier. Sprat meat is plenty tasty when properly prepared. We grind them up in sausages, then terra-fry them in their own juices. Terra-frying is a Spacer's Choice brand secret. A mix of 13... Absolutely not. Spratwurst and all related terms. Boar, the other meat, is a registered trademark of C&P. Everyone... Legally? No. The terra-frying method was developed between you, me, and this grinder. I've been through lean times. If there's one thing you learn on tramp freighters, it's how to make near... Might be that this old space hand put a few words in the right ears, and could be that Spacer's Choice liked sticking it to C&P. Just... long... Fresh...
C&P Borstwurst. It's not the worst unless it's forced worst.
Oh, neat! They got stuff in here I ain't seen in ages.
Well, this should prove interesting, to say the least.
Welcome to Sublight Salvage and Shipping, a legitimate business for legit. You the one flying the... Money. We got it. The Steve Doors want it. I'll take that as a yes. Miss Lily has been expecting... Sure am. A few years back, they got me started on simple acquisitions. You know those latches they put on cargo bays ain't worth a damn? These days, I stick to HQ and look after Miss Lilia.
What? Thought I heard something. What do you think you're... Yeah, all right. I guess you're on the level.
Watch out, Captain!
You're dead!
Keep him quiet, Cap.
What? What was that? Hey! What do you think you're doing?
Here they come!
Put him in the...
I'll keep quiet.
So you're the new captain in town. I was hoping you'd make your way to my office. Saves me the work of hunting you down. Lilia Hagen, CEO and Executive Director of Aggressive Operations. I'm guessing you already know about Sublight, otherwise you wouldn't have come. Charmed. It's nice to see the Unreliable again. Useful ship. Hawthorne was my contractor. I'd recognize that leaky boat of his anywhere. Is Ada still at the helm? I don't know how many times I told Hawthorne to restore that smartass to factory settings. I have a salvage job for someone light on corporate ties with a reliable set of wings, but there's a catch.
There is always a catch.
If you have a nav key to Stellar Bay, the job's yours. Interested? First, an embargo that's been active ever since the board pulled its forces off-world. Few regulations, plenty of freedom. And second, all the goodies that no one had time to pack. I like that initiative, but ease back on the throttle. Gladys at the rest and go, if there's any... These days, the scrap business all but runs itself. Gives me the time to expand our field is persuasive acquisitions. At least that's how my legal advisors tell me to phrase it. Not all of our salvage is abandoned when we find it. Sometimes it takes, your words, not... Hey, careful with the C word around here. I like to keep things above board. Sublight occupies a legal blind spot. No one knows what we're licensed to do, and that gives our little business some freedom. Very. I have this I like to think of myself as the last honest businesswoman in Halcyon, but I'll settle. Be
organized, competent. Well, mostly.
Following story.
I think everything in here is worth more than I've made in my whole life.
Why there aren't enough new faces in the Halcyon colony. We all want new neighbors from time to time. Our studies have shown that a controlled population is inversely proportional to consumer happiness. Fewer colonists means there's more paradise for the rest of us to enjoy.
Ah, yes. Wheeler messaged me you were coming. You must be the captain of the Unreliable, a vessel that... Has something happened? Oh no, this is terrible. My dear friend... Oh, Alex. He was my dearest friend. You have his ship, you must know. That picture of us on the promenade, me hugging him, him wincing. I keep a... It must have been lost with Alex then. Tell me. You're quite right, of course. Best not to pry into such... Right. You're going important places, I'm sure. There, I've removed the flag from your ship. I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience. However, Alex promised to tell me the location of Phineas Wells. I'm sure you've seen his wanted posters all over the colony. You haven't read the posters? He's a... Well, Alex knew, or he said he did. And you have his ship. Maybe he kept... That's... Well, that's just... Oh, I'm sorry. This is It's personal business, I'm afraid. I don't intend to be. It's... Information on the whereabouts of Phineas Wells would go a long way. It's fine. Now... I'm the certified representative of the board's interests here on the Groundbreaker. I have few
Law. Chief, deplorable conduct. My superiors will be hearing about it. You c- Oh, good law. No, emphatically. Best to be clear, Oh, you've noticed my friends. They're here to keep the peace. Precisely. Groundbreaker makes much ado about its independent status and so resents it. When the alternative is board guards at their gates, yes, I do. They don't see it that way, of course. A luxury stateroom reserved for Chairman Rockwell. Oh, good law, of course not. As this office is the primary embassy for the board on Groundbreaker, corporate bylaws ask
Miss Doyle owes the board a significant sum. Alas, the only collateral she has is her organs.
Kind and efficient. Can't say I disapprove. Although, seeing as this one...
I think you may have underestimated the size of Miss Doyle's debt. If you'll look over this... I am extremely anguished, Captain.
I doubt Mr. Bedford's ever felt real pain. We could introduce him to the sort of suffering that actually...
Be careful you don't irritate my guards, Vicar. You might not like their rather narrow understanding of what constitutes Unless you can offer some other means of resolving her debt. That's not unreasonable.
I guess it's better than losing your organs, but I don't know, Cap.
Miss Doyle is deeply... What guarantee do I... You might be surprised. But we'll proceed on the assumption I will recall my collection agent. Tell Miss Doyle to report to me promptly for... Now, is...
Wish I could say it was good to see you, Ellie. At least you finally got your chance to square our debt. That ought to make you smile for once, huh?
Nothing makes me happier than being even. Except being right. That's nice, too.
The good news came through the wireless. Looks like you paid my debt to Jesse. I guess that means I owe you... Tell you what, I'm a little short on bits at the moment, but I'm a deep... If you're looking for a medic, It's like people touching a cookie and leaving it in the box. It's just one of those things that gets under my skin. If I'm being honest, and I prefer not to, I was about ready to pick up another contract anyway, and you settled this in a pretty tidy fashion, which tells me... But we can say I'm repaying the favor if you prefer. She helped me win a bet. We were on a smuggling run planet side when our point man bet me I couldn't outrun a mantis. That's what I thought. And as you can probably guess, the thing was faster than it looked. Probably would have caught me if Jesse had... Yeah, but the important thing is I want... You won't be sorry. Though it looks like you've got a full roster already. Traveling in style, are we? I'll be sure to nab a cabin with...
Dr. Fenhill, glad you opted to join us. It'll be good to have a Sawbones on the crew.
What seems to...
Have you seen this man? Reward offered for information leading to the capture of noted terrorist Phineas Wells. Report and signing to your local board embassy.
Are those XF4?
We interrupt your regularly scheduled. User's choice is enjoying an unexpected windfall. Sources credit of increasing salt-tuna production.
The heat in here is so unbearable, I can hardly even concentrate. June Lay better hurry up with those damn repairs already. Good law, the heat in here is so unbearable, I can hardly
Great
even
job, as always, to our hardworking candidate.
Suppose it's time to reevaluate my career goals.
You should clear out. Engineering's a dangerous place to wander until we get those radiators fixed.
Machinery. Must be...
It's been all day in here, and I have looked at half the best stuff. It's all pretty worn, though.
Junlei Tennyson. I'm captain around here, but chief to my friends. Hope you don't mind the formal introduction. Groundbreaker. Good for you. Hope you scared some sense into those bureaucrats giving you trouble. Just so we understand each other, I'm the final word on the ship. The Mardits, the crew, the engineers, their family. I hope they're... Good. Don't go making trouble, and chances are you won't find any. So what brings you to Groundbreaker? I'm curious, even though 9 times out of 10 the answer's just... Interesting. The powers that be paint an ugly picture of Monarch. Critters and such. We see a lot of the same faces coming and going. Most of them board spies and corporate sprats. Makes it hard to trust outs. You're right, I don't. The board is after... I like to think of myself as a nice person, but if that gaudy embassy of his was on fire, I might hold my breath a moment before activating the sprinkler system. The board wants control over Groundbreaker. I placate them when I have something to offer, but I can also be a real hard-ass. It'd be a joy if I could kick out the corporate merchants and reclaim the docking fees in my lifetime. Too much of Groundbreaker's income is flowing in the wrong direction. You've got my attention. Frustrating. Everything down to the circuit boards is past warranty, so I have the pleasure of making life or death decisions on a Plus, there's no time to train my successor or document fixes in a way that anyone outside the family would understand. Sure is. The Tennysons came over on the Groundbreaker. My grandmother, Chief Gayan, kept it together during the crossing, and I was promoted only recently, when my mom died. Then I took the leap from chief engineer to...
They must have been amazing people to have taught you all.
That means a lot coming from a fellow. It was different knowing that I couldn't turn to anyone who could answer the tough questions for me. Maybe you can see why I'm protective of Groundbreaker. This... You see any bite-sized Tennyson children running around? I didn't. The next captain won't have my heritage. I'll have to foster that talent from somewhere. I hope that was a joke, Cap. I gelded that thing years ago. Now it brews a stem that goes down stronger than Nan or Spank.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I'm really just a...
Don't sell yourself short. It doesn't take a seasoned pro to tinker on Groundbreaker. We're always thirsting for help. If you could find your way around this labyrinth of ducts and panels... You've got... Groundbreaker's radiators need replacement parts. They're dumping superheated air into... Only the board has access to new parts, and They want us to sweat, thinking that'll soften me up for a bad faith deal. The board isn't helping, and my resources are spread thin. If I don't get those radiators... Reasonable, huh? That's the best. According to my grandmother's old schematics, the parts we need should be in the back bays. I keep diligent records of station repairs, requisitions, and available assets. The station's radiators haven't changed since her time, and her records say the parts should... Sorry, I forgot not every... The back bays are on a lower deck. You must not have been here long. In Halcyon, new parts come by way of interstellar freighters from Earth, and the board monopolized. That means I'd have to negotiate with the board. Damn right. And while I'm captain... Those idiots are immune to... If you could find some... I have. One of my engineers. I can't afford to lose any Mardits on... Nice and pragmatic. Good. The ship...
What? I didn't think you just...
Parvati, is it? That's a lovely name.
I was just thinking, I haven't got much experience working with actual, real spaceships, Miss Junlei.
Junlei is fine.
Okay. Since you run a whole space station, I was wondering if...
I'd be happy to make the time, Parvati.
Wow, great! I'll do that then. Messages. Later. Couldn't have done it without your moral...
Now, if there's nothing else, there are other...
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement.